Hello, everybody. Hopefully, we've switched on everything okay, and you can see and hear me. So, as Jeremy says, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm just waiting for my test to actually kick in and just make sure that we're talking. Yes, we are. So, hi, everybody. Well, first of all, just lots and lots of apologies. I've had a nasty virus for the past, I don't know, 5-6 days or so. I was just getting over it yesterday, and obviously I'd arranged to do a hangout yesterday, which I was going to do. Excuse me. And then, unfortunately, when I went onto my YouTube account, I couldn't get access to it for some reason. I don't know what's been going on. I'm also for those in the UK, I also bank with a TSB, which is having enormous traumas at the moment. So, so I've had the three things. I've had the virus. I've had the not being able to get to my bank account, and not being able to get into my YouTube account, which has just been one of those days. So. Hello and welcome, and what we're going to go through today in today's hangout is we're going to go through basically all the updates that we had for the for Zukul.trade. And as you know, for those of you obviously our beta testers, you'll know that we had basically a new skin put on our site, and obviously lots of functionalities changed over the weekend. And it's as with everything, whenever if you're in the UK and you're part of just watching the news, the TSB Bank, which used to be part of Lloyd's, major organization, they've just been transferring some data across, and their whole banking system has collapsed. So just basically every time programmers do something to a program, it will always create bugs, and that's what myself and Jeremy always tell you, and that is why we're going through this beta testing phase. So obviously we did put the new face onto Zukul.trade, and then obviously that created bugs over the weekend, which hopefully now the guys are getting on top of. And what I want to do really in this hangout is just go through some of the functionality changes that are on there. You'll still, a lot of the videos that we've got in place are still relevant. Obviously I'll need to go back and redo them because things have moved and buttons have changed directions, things like that. But I just want to go through that because I know it caused some consternation, shall we say, over the weekend. And like I say, I think most things have settled down now. But again, I just want to give you some new insight into the features that we're adding, why we're adding them, and obviously how you can use them to your advantage. Excuse me while I just have a quick drink of tea. Now then, before we get started, I'll just do a quick shout out. Now, what I would like to do, obviously we're going to have a lot of people who are going to be watching this video either live or obviously recorded version in the next few days or weeks. And what I'd like to do is to be able to show proof that the bot works, because really, let's be honest, everybody will just see some of the figures that are out there that people talk about, and they're not going to believe the figures that we're talking about. So it's all well and good than me showing them my screen, the demo screens and things like that, but it's always better if we can show screens or proof of trades from ordinary people. And again, they'll be able to contact you via Facebook or the Telegram group, and you'll be able to strike up a conversation with these guys. So if you are a beta tester and you're watching us live, then obviously if you've got some results that you want to put into the chat, then please do. And obviously I can refer back to those as we go through the Hangout as well, and that'd be great. Now, as long as I can hang out, for as long as my voice will hang out, and obviously everything else, we will continue with the list of things that I've got to go through. So what we're going to go through first, we're going to go through the updates that went through on Zukul.trade. So I'm going to walk you through those. Excuse me. We're then going to have a look at the market in general, and we're going to focus. I've been focusing on the past couple of weeks on Bitcoin specifically, because again, what I want to try to do is help you understand how the market changes and what to sort of anticipate where the market is going to go. And the technical information that I'm going to show you is exactly the same information. You can go and look at Bitcoin, you can Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, dollar, gold, silver, whatever it is that we're trading. The way that I analyze those markets is exactly the same principle. So so I think a lot of people are finding that useful to be able to understand, if the market's dropping, it's trying to understand why it's dropping and how far it will drop, or if the market's growing, how far it will grow, and when will it stop growing. So we're going through an interesting phase at the moment. So I just want to touch on that and just give you a little bit more of an insight into that. That would be useful, I think, for some people. And then finally, what we're going to go through again for those guys who are looking at this for the first time, or they're absolutely new beta testers, then what we're going to do is we're going to go through how to set up a bot, and I'm going to go through 2 ways of how we set up a bot. What I would suggest has been a cautionary way of setting up a bot, and then perhaps a more robust or less risk-averse way of setting up a bot as well. So we'll do that as well. Okay, so let's just quickly go through the chat. Hopefully everybody can hear me and everything's okay. I've got a couple of moderators in there today. I've learned from my lessons from previous Hangouts is that I can't do this on my own. So thanks very much, guys, for doing that. If there's any major questions in there that I happen to miss out on, then what I will do is I'll either answer them retrospectively in the Telegram group, or I'll get in touch with the person individually and answer that question. So hopefully we can get everything done, and we'll be done and dusted and at the usual time for 8 o'clock. I'm trying to make this quite a short hangout for you guys. Okay, right. First on the what we're going to go through is we're going to go through the updates on the Hangout. So let me just share my screen. So hopefully we're going to get that, and hopefully you will now see my back office. Let me just check that that's going through okay. Yeah, okay, right. So here we are on the back of Zukul.trade, as you can see. So this will look different than we were looking at last week, and I am on the Getting Started tab, and I'm on that one for a reason. And again, I'm going to spend a few minutes just basically reminding everybody that they need to go to the Start Trading Today tab. Okay, even if you think you're an experienced trader, please go through this, and we'll open it up. It's essentially a set of videos and explanations on how to set everything up. Now, I've got a video on here with GDAX API links. I will be creating a video for, in fact, I think we have got one here. Where are we? Here we go. How to connect your Sexio. So this is the other exchange. So we have 2 exchanges with the bot at the moment. We have GDAX and we have Sexio. Okay, and you've got videos and instructions on how to set up and connect your APIs. Now, the APIs essentially allows the robot to trade the money that is in your GDAX account. It can't do anything else with that money, and that's really important, and I'll touch on that again shortly. But basically, you need to make sure that you go through those bits very, very carefully and make sure that you set your bot up correctly. Once you have set your bot up, there is very little that you need to then do to it. I know it's very tempting to go in there and tweak it, but really, once it's set up, I would give it a good week at least before you even consider making any adjustments. And like I say, I'll show you some live examples of that in a moment. Okay, so everybody who starts has to go through that Getting Started section and has to go through the trading, training, and obviously the Start Trading tabs. Those are the 2 important tabs. Obviously, we've got other bits of information there as well. I'm not going to go through those. I think they're all self-explanatory. If you want support, then obviously we've got support tabs there as well. All right, so let's go to our dashboard. Now, just a quick point. you'll notice if you've been clicking around that some of these links here are not live at the moment, and obviously that's because the guys, obviously programmers, are still working on these bits, these pages, so they will connect everything up. But if you want to know your finances, your affiliate system, and the bits and pieces of training that we've just gone through, then obviously you can go to Zukul.com, which you'll also already have access to if you're a Zukul.trade member. And obviously all that information is held there at the moment as well. So don't worry about it. It's not gone missing or anything. It's just held in Zukul.com. So that's just one thing to be aware of. Okay, so this is the demo account that we've been using for our videos. So as you can see, just very quickly running across the top now, you can see that the plan that this account set at is intermediate. You can see that we're trading in pounds because I'm based in the UK. If you're based in Europe, then that would be euros. If you're based in America, then that would be dollars. And I think if you're based anywhere else in the world other than those places, then again, I think it will then be dollars. You can see here that I'm currently trading £439 out of a possible £3,000, and that's because of the intermediate level in this particular account. And somebody asked the question, I think it was yesterday, that if, for example, that was £3,000 and I was trading 3001, then unfortunately, then the bot would simply stop. Okay, wouldn't make any more purchases, wouldn't do any sales or anything like that, because I had reached that trading limit of that account. And in order for me to restart the bot, I would either need to upgrade, which obviously I can do by clicking this button here, or I would need to manually sell some of the bots that I've got running in order to bring down my overall trading pot. Okay, so you've got those two options, but obviously, you need to make sure that you've got a good weather eye on your trading allowance, if you like. Then you've got withdrawable amounts, and I'm going to go on over this a couple of times because there's a lot of people are sending tickets in unnecessarily because they're not understanding how the system works. So I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here again. So withdrawable amounts. Now I've got a trade here that's running, and I'll go through this in a minute. So I've got trade that's running here, and if I click on this button here, calculate my withdrawable amounts, you can see that this account here, I would be allowed to withdraw £4.32, and I can withdraw that without it affecting my bot. Okay, if I was to withdraw £4.33, then unfortunately, even though it's a penny, that would affect the bot, and the bot would then simply stop. Okay, so what you need to understand is that the bot cannot move any money out of your GDAX account. All of the money is always going to be in your GDAX account, which is great because you've got control of your money all of the time. But if we just go over to the GDAX account that's connected to this Zukul trade account, okay, you can see here that I've got an amount here, which is £421.37, and I've got a Bitcoin amount here. And if I click on the Bitcoin amount, you'll notice here that I've got the currency equivalent of that Bitcoin amount. Now, if I think that I've got £421.37 here that I can either withdraw or I could move to another exchange or whatever, then yes, I can physically do that because I'm the owner of this account. But the problem is, as soon as I start to move more than the £4.32 that the bot effectively is allowing me to move, then unfortunately that bot will just stop. Now I can move the money, it really isn't a problem. It's my money, and I will move it. And the same with your GDAX accounts or your Sexio account. It's your money, you move it, you do whatever you want with it. Just understand that you need to do before making any withdrawals or movements is you need to calculate what you can do, and it will change periodically because obviously it's continually trading your money. Okay, so don't think that, okay, I can move £4.32 today and next week I'll go and move £4.32, because that money will have changed. It will either have gone up or it'll have gone down depending on how much money you're trading. Okay, so just understand that each time you want to move money out of your accounts, you need to check it through your withdrawable accounts. All right. Otherwise, if I was to withdraw more money, then unfortunately, I'm eating into the money that the bot is trying to trade with, and all of a sudden it will cause a problem with the bot, and the bot will just simply stop trading because it cannot clearly trade with money that it doesn't have. Okay. Okay, right. Let me just have another quick drink of tea. Hopefully that made sense. Okay. Very quickly across the tabs here, we've got a tab here with active bots, and then we've got our archive bots here. And obviously you'll know the history around these bots that we've had going. And obviously we've used some on the videos and on the Hangouts. As you can see, really good, healthy ROIs on those bots. Now I've set up a what I call a cautionary bot. Okay, so as you can see, I've put in the full instructions of the settings of this bot again, so that you can see them very clearly. It's trading in GDAX. It's trading Bitcoin to sterling. It's going for a 2% ROI. I've put it on 20 lots, and it's a backup bot, which means that I've activated the backup bot for that particular bot. And it is also on auto compounding. So if we, oops, sorry, I do apologize, I've gone ahead of myself there. So if we just quickly look at the settings, you can see here that I've got the auto compound feature on there as well. All right, so we'll just click out of that. Again, we've got the edit buttons, as you've just seen, and also the view details, which I'll show you in a moment. You can see that we've got the pair now clearly identified. We've also given you more detail here on the investment. So again, it's trading £439 over 20 lots. That's what each lot is worth, and that's the monetary target that it's going for. So for each lot, it's looking for at least 44 pence profit in each trade, and that is excluding any commissions that go to GDAX. So that is the pure profit that comes to me. So obviously it would be going for an extra, I think it's 7% or whatever the trading margin that GDAX have, then that is not included in that profit. So that is the profit that purely comes straight through to my GDAX account. And as you can see here, it's trading one lot at the moment, and that's the amount of Bitcoin that it's trading in that one lot. And we've got our drop down box, and again, we've been through these boxes all before in previous Hangouts, and we've covered all of those boxes again on the trading. So if you don't know what each box means or each option means, then please, like I say, go through that get trading today training that we've put together for you. You can see that it's already made me £3.34 in this account, and that is an ROI currently of 0.8% of that amount there. Okay, so that £4.39, it's made 0.8% already on that, and I've set it as a target ROI of 25%. The target ROI again is the amount that I want it to make before the bot is paused automatically. And that means that really, I can go on holiday, I can go away, I can do whatever I want, and I can leave this bot to run until it gets to 25%, and then the bot will then pause. And I think someone's asked the question, well, what happens after that? Well, simply all you then do is you would then go into, well, what I would suggest is you go over to here, you pause the bot, okay, because you're going to make a change. You then come to your edit settings, and where you've already made 25%, where are we? 25% here. Then all you would do is you would just simply change the amount that you want to set it to. So you can see here, I can set it to perhaps 50%, something like that. Okay, because now knowing that I've already made 25%, I can then move it up to 50% and then click Save Changes, and then it would obviously reactivate the bot again. So, and again, that would be the same for everything. So if you wanted to add more money to the trading amount, then again, pause your bot, come up here, and then you can see here I've got available trading amount of 442. Well, I could actually change that to 442 like that, and I could then click Save Changes, and it will now automatically add that. As you can see here, it's now created, it's changed the lots now from I think it was £21 and something or other to £22 and 10p. All right, but I'm not going to do any of those changes, so I'm just going to click that out, and then we'll just restart that bot again. Okay, so that's just a very quick walkthrough of the active bots. The archive bots are effectively bots that you've closed or terminated. You can obviously capture all of the trading information before you do that. It asks you the question to when you terminate or close a bot, it will ask you the question. I would always recommend that you do that, because you need to capture that information should you need to use it for tax purposes. And then obviously you've got history of all of your trading bots here. All right, and obviously you can print off and search for various bits and pieces. So we've got as your bots increase, you can imagine that in a few years you could have pages and pages of these bots. Okay, so that's the front page, the dashboard. Now let's go to view settings. And while that loads, I'll just have a quick drink. Now again, you can see here we've got a couple of new features that have been added to this. Obviously, you can see that this is a GDAX, trading with GDAX. You can see what it's trading, and you can see that the current price of Bitcoin. And then obviously we've got our usual time zones, if you like, time views, if you like, for this graph. Now the big change, and let me click on 4 hours. For some of you, you'll notice that we've got these red exclamation marks have started appearing on your graphs. Now this is again for two reasons really. One is for transparency. We want you to understand what trading environment your particular exchange is causing, if you like, is causing your bot to make certain decisions. So for example, this area here is now relating to this trade errors here. Okay, so you've got 3 tabs now. So we had our currently held lots, which are lots which are still active. Then you've got your lots which have closed. Okay, so you've bought and you've sold for a profit. And now we have another tab here which is called trade errors. Now you'll notice I've got 4 exclamation marks here, and they all relate to here, and it gives you an explanation as to what has happened here. So you can see here at the first exclamation mark, okay, it cannot sell. So it tried to sell. See where that arrow is filled there? It tried to actually sell that position just here, and it couldn't do that because the rate limit was exceeded. Now the rate limit, if you want to know the details of that, guess what? We've now got the link, so you can go and open that up into your browser, and you'll be able to read up on what GDAX's rate limit means. Okay, and basically what it means is that it only allows certain number of requests during a particular time period. So it's 3 requests per second, or up to 6 requests in short bursts. Okay, so what has possibly happened there is that there's been too many requests in the given time period into GDAX's account, and so it's not allowed you to sell at the price that the robot wanted you to do it. It then tried again here, and the same problem. It then tried again here, the same problem. And you can see probably why is because the market shot up, and so what happens there is there's a lot of profit taking. So there's a lot of people sat here watching the market. They see the price go up and think, right, I'm going to sell, 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 sell. And so it's trying to get into GDAX, the exchange account, to sell that position. And eventually it does, 4th time lucky. Okay. Then we've got another exclamation mark here, and that's because it's trying to make a purchase. So the price has dropped, and so the robot is not only selling, it's trying to purchase as well. So it's then made another purchase. Okay, and obviously it correctly made that purchase because you can see here it's actually made a profit on that purchase because the market then continued to rise, and then it's obviously made another purchase here as well. So that's a new feature. And I know a lot of people have been putting in tickets saying, you know, super analyzing their screen, saying, well, why didn't it buy here and why didn't it sell here? Well, we've added that feature to help you understand you know, why that the robot possibly hasn't bought or possibly hasn't sold. Okay, the other reason is probably because you haven't got enough funds in your account, and again, you know, those error messages will probably appear on there as well. But that's probably because you've moved money without realizing it and without going through that withdrawal calculator first. Okay, so that is a big new feature that has raised a couple of questions, so hopefully that's answered that. Then ordinarily we've got our currently held lot, so this is the position that we've got open here. So this is an arrow that is transparent, so you can see here it's bought at 21.95. it's bought at that price, and at the moment I could sell it now if I wanted to for 5p profit, but obviously I'm going to let the robot do its magic, and that will close off hopefully in the not too distant future. Then we'll go over to our trade log here, and as you can see, these are all the trades which have that have been completed over, I think it's the last 3 days or so. So the last 3 days, this is the way this bot has performed. As you can see, it's given me 4.37, 2.14, 3.74, 2.78, 2.19. Now you'll notice that all of those percentages are higher than the minimum 2% that obviously I've set the robot to achieve for me, and that is basically because once it hits the target, it then looks for a great selling position. It doesn't automatically sell at the price that we want it to sell at. It will continue trading until it sees the market fall away, and then it will then start to do its selling procedure. So, and again, it can also be affected by this as well. Okay, so it could have made me even more profit if it had managed to get that sell in there, but it didn't, unfortunately. But obviously, you know, it comes with, you know, over the number of trades that you're doing. So that's just one sell that it made me a nice profit on it. It made me 2.78%. Okay, that particular sell there, but it might have made me 3% had it, you know, sold at that point there. But equally, I'm really happy that it's made me 2.78. So hopefully that has given you a bit of an idea on where we're up to with Zukul.trade. Now, what I want to very quickly do is just give you a quick view on the market. As you can see here, I'm looking at GDAX just out of convenience. We've got it set at 1 day candles, and I look at 1 day candles. I don't necessarily look at 5 minute or 15 minute. I try to look at the overall trend pattern. And as you can see, last week I was talking about this 12-day moving average, and we were just talking about it here. And I was saying that if it breaks through the 26, I think it's a 26, yeah, the 26-day moving average, then that is significant because it's not done that since December. Okay, so that's a significant sign. Does it mean that the market is going to continue going up and up and up? No, it doesn't. But what it does mean is that there is now some real momentum for the market to start to increase. And another site that I look at, and again, I've shown you this a few times. Now, this is a site called Trading View. Okay, so it's tradingview.com. And what I've done today is I've just done a screenshot, and then I've just drawn these lines on here just to help you understand, again, the way that I look at this market. And this is not trading advice, it's just observations. So the easiest way to look at a market is to try and grab a nice chunk of data. And we've got data here going back to the middle of November last year. And what I've done is I've taken that low and I've simply drawn a line to the next lowest low, which is about here. Okay, and then I've just continued that line across here. All right. And then I've just done exactly the same thing. I've taken the highest high, which is this high here, and then I've just rested it on the next highest high, which again is this one here, which is actually today's trade. Okay, and again continued that line. You can see that it crosses over here. Now what may happen, okay, is that this high could continue for a few days and then it could slip back and then continue, then slip back. But what will happen now is that you can see here we've got a channel growing. And basically what will happen is that the price will now bounce between these two lines. Now it could be that this line, this upper line, gets moved higher and higher, giving it a bit more room to bounce in, if that makes sense. But just understand that the market will bounce back. It will hit a level that it's not comfortable with, okay, and it will bounce back. What do I mean by a level? Some people call it like a resistance level. And again, in last week's Hangout, we talked about this level here. You can see this flat line here is similar to this bottom here. And if we go right across here to this area here, and I was suggesting that there was going to be an area, a time where it was going to have a difficulty getting past this price mark, and that is what proved to be happening here. Okay, so over the weekend it really struggled. In fact, we had a star sign here, that cross there, that very thin cross, which can signify a reverse price movement. I didn't think it would be a reverse movement, simply because of that 12-day EMA was crossing over. So I think that was just a worrying sign. I didn't think it was a sign that there was going to be a price movement. But even so, it seems to have broken through that with some gusto today. And the next significant topping out, if you like, is probably this area here. So it's around about the £8,000 mark. Not sure what that is in dollars, but around about the £8,000 mark is going to be another resistance level that it's going to have, I think, some difficulty getting through. Okay, so just be aware that, like I say, the market will bounce up and down. This green line here will get wider and wider, but just understand that, you know, that's how the market moves. Okay, so are you guys still with me? Right. Okay, have we got any quick questions? Have I gone through stuff that we want? Can you safely trade with SEX yet? Yes, you can, Scott. I've not set up a dummy account yet with the SEX, but the accounts that we've got running in the back office for the traders, it's trading absolutely fine. If you are having any difficulties, again, just make sure that you've got your settings correct, and you know you've got money where you say you've got money, and the bot can do what it needs to do. But yeah, the programmers versions are performing fine, so there's no issues with SEC at all. Is it better to manually increase the trading amount when your profits increase, or set it on auto compound? Jim, the least that you can do manually, the better, would be my advice. I would set it on auto compound, as I've just demonstrated on mine. Once you've set your bot up, my advice really is to leave it. Okay, if you thought that those settings were great on the day that you set it up, then really I wouldn't go messing with it. You know, if there's something drastically wrong, you know, perhaps you meant to set it at 2% and you set it at 20% on each particular trade, then clearly you need to go back and change it. But really, the least interference you give that bot and allow the bot to do its work, then the better. At the end of the day, you're buying a bot that does things automatically for you. So why interfere with it? Okay, that would be my advice. Carolyn, she's made 12 successful trades with her SEC. So there you go. Whoever it was who was asking about Scott, if you were asking about it, Carolyn's doing very well. Okay, right. Cool. Right. Let's go over to setting up a bot. All right. And so we're going to go to our dashboard. And like I say, I'm going to show you my cautionary bot. So we just have a quick drink of tea. Excuse me. Okay. Now, my cautionary bot is this one here. Now, let me just, I'm not going to make any changes, so we'll just open it up. So this is a cautionary, what I call my cautionary bot. If you're really new, you're risk averse, and you really don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, then this is the bot to be setting up, or these are the settings that I would suggest you at least start with. And the key things are that you set it as a backup bot. Excuse me. Now, because I've already set it as a backup bot, you cannot unset it as a backup bot. Okay, once it's set, it's set. And that's why I've written backup bot here, so I know that it is a backup bot, because you'll notice that there isn't any sign that there's a backup bot here. I can switch the auto compound on and off. Okay, but I've put it on auto compound. Obviously, I've gone with the Zukul crypto bot. I've put in the trading amount. I've set it to 25% ROI on this amount. Okay, so that means that once it's made, what should we say, 110 pounds. So once it's made 110 pounds profit, then the bot will then pause. Okay, it won't do any more buying. It will sell, obviously, any lots which are outstanding, but it won't buy any more until I then come in and then change this to whatever level I want it to do. Why am I doing that? And why am I not just thinking, to hell with it, and I'll put it up to whatever it was. Sorry, I'll put it up to here. Okay. Well, the reason is again, this is cautionary. If you allow something to run and run and run and run, then there is a risk of it creating problems. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to cause a problem to the bot or anything like that, but this is just here. It's like a little bit of a break. Okay, it's allowing it not to get too carried away, and so that's why I suggest that you have it set around about 25-30%, something like that, which is probably what it will make during the course of, say, a month. And then just come in and then just change it again. You can change it at any time you want. Okay, absolutely any time you want. But it just allows the bot to breathe for a moment, and that's if you're going to allow the bot to just run and run. Okay, if you're going to keep coming in and pausing it and then making adjustments and then restarting it again, then you'll probably be okay. But if you're just going to put it onto 100% and then leave it, then I just don't think it's good. Okay, that's just me being old-fashioned, if you like. So the feature is there. I suggest you just use it. Okay. 20 lots with a backup bot is where I've pitched it. Minimum is probably maybe 15 or 16 lots if you're using a backup bot, and that is because the backup bot will always hold 40% of your lots back for when the price seriously drops. Okay, so if it notices that the market is seriously dropping, so if we go back to here, so where we saw this big drop here, then that is when your backup bot is really going to be helpful for you. When you see these huge drops in the market. Okay, so that's when the backup bot is really going to be your benefit. And who's to say, okay, the price is going up here, but who's to say the price doesn't fall back dramatically again like it did here? Okay, nobody knows. All right, we can do our best guessing, but nobody knows for sure. So again, if you're risk averse or cautious, then go with a backup bot and go for a large number of lots. I've gone for a standard 2% return. I think that's a reasonable level to pitch for. You can go higher than that if you want, or you can go lower than that if you want. It's entirely up to you. If you go for lower, it does mean that you will turn your lots over a lot quicker. So if you're not using a backup bot and you're going for less lots, then going for, say, 1% or 1.5% or 1.25%, then that would be a reasonable level to go for. And the target price optional. Okay, I know this has caused a few questions in the past few days. You can leave that blank. It will not affect the setup. This is in anticipation for our next bot that's going to come into here. Okay, I didn't tell you that, so if Jeremy says anything next week, then mum's the word. Okay, we didn't talk about it at all. You just leave it blank. You can put numbers in it. It's totally irrelevant. Okay, just ignore it. And then obviously you would then save your changes. So that's a cautionary bot. let's go through to actually setting up a bot. So we click the little green create a new bot. We select the exchange you want. I'm just going to go for GDAX just through convenience. You add your API keys. If it's your first time, please go through the video training that we've got for you. If it's not your first time, then it will have saved some API key information. So you can just make sure that the bot will know that. It will then connect everything up for you. So we'll click the button, we'll make a wish, and use the correct currency. So we're in BTC sterling, and as you can see, it knows that I've got £3.37 here in my trading account. So that's all I can set it up with. But we're going to ignore that. We're going to give it a name, so we'll call it test. We're going to go for £3,000 that we're going to trade with, and we're going to go for, let's say, 12 lots. Now, again, if you're being a little bit more aggressive, I would go for the minimum number of lots I would go for is 10. That's what I would suggest. You can go for less, okay? However, going back to our chart, these are obviously daily movements, but obviously within each day there is always going to be large movements within, both going up and down. Now, if you've only got 10 lots and you're trading this pattern, then really you haven't got an issue. But what happens if you've only got 10 lots and you're trading this pattern? Well, then you're only going to, chances are is that you're going to be running out of money fairly quickly, because it's going to be buying you lots before the price comes up again. Okay, you might get a little bit of profit here, you might get some more profit here, but if it's buying you lots in this section here, then you're going to have to wait for the price to rise before it brings you into profit again. So just be aware that the less lots you have, yes, you could make more profit, but equally you could also have less money in the game, if you like. So minimum of 10 would be my advice. Okay, your minimum earnings per lot, you easily work it out, because obviously if we put £3 in here, 1%. If I put in £6 here, 2%. Okay, so that's a 2% return on each £300 trading lot. Okay, and like I say, we can leave all that, and you can either have the auto compound switched on or off, and you can have the enabled backup bot switched on or switched off. Just understand that if you leave it on now, okay, you cannot switch it off, and if you switch it off now, you cannot retrospectively add it on. Okay, so the only thing that you cannot change once the bot is up and running is whether the backup bot is either on or off. Okay, all right, we're going to cancel that. And again, I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but once you have set your bot up, okay, so we've got this bot setting up, trading with £439, please do not remove the £339 that you're trading with out of your GDAX account, because the bot cannot trade with money that isn't there. So there's a lot of people putting in tickets saying my bot stopped, it's not making any purchases, and it's because they've moved the money out of their GDAX account. Now, we don't have access to your GDAX account. The bot doesn't have access to the GDAX account in order to move money. So you have total flexibility in doing that. But the problem is that members are moving the money, and therefore that is pausing their bot, and that's why it's not making any purchases. So so please, I know I've now mentioned it about 3 or 4 times today, so please don't go messing around with that money unless you go to the click to calculate and it tells you how much you can move out of your account without it damaging your bot. All right, if you want to move your money, you're absolutely desperate that you need to move that money now. So if I needed access to £400, then great, I can move it. I've got access to it. Just understand that by moving that £400 out of that account is that bot will now stop working. Okay, so it's not a problem with the bot, it's the fact that you've taken the money out of your GDAX account. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'll stop sharing now, and I'll just go back to our Hangout. So we've actually gone way over what I planned to go over. So have we got any major questions in there? Let me just quickly go up. I have my API set up. All right, thanks, Caroline. You look like you're answering questions for me there. Some pairs, but not on the auto compound works on some pairs, but not others. The auto compound works, Ken. Okay, it does work. Trust me. If you go to your if you go to your trading account, let me share my screen again. Spare me a moment. Let's talk amongst yourselves. Right, there we go. So if you go to your trading view, okay, you won't see it on this now. But if you go to your trading view and you click on your trade, okay, and you'll notice that here it's buying at 21.95, 21.95, 21.95. Once it's made enough profit to be able to split it in a way that the GDAX account will allow it to split it, it will then make its purchases differently. So it might be that the next purchase after this one will now be £22, okay, and all other lots will be £22 until again it makes another chunk of change, which allows GDAX to then increase the amount that it's trading with. So depending on how many trades you've made and how much profit you've got, it will then add it to it. So that's how you can check. Now, it won't happen overnight on every single lot that you do, simply because the amount of money that it's making split over your lots will not make it into the correct amount that GDAX allows, or SEX allows you to trade as a unit. So that's the only reason that it might not work on that particular pair, but the auto compound does work. Someone said the auto compound, please talk about that. Hopefully I've talked about that, Rory. So hopefully you've got an idea on that. If you still don't understand it, there is a video purely on the auto compound. So go and check that out. Still not connecting. Scott Lang, still not connecting. Oh, that's your API. Okay. I know that's no. Okay. Any word from Jeremy in China? Hi, Paul. Yes, he's having an amazing time. He's loving it over there. I think he gets a good kick out of visiting the in-laws and everything that goes along with that, because it's just a totally different world. I don't know if you've ever been to China or to Asia, but it is an amazing place. I know my son and his girlfriend went over there for Christmas for 3 weeks, and they had an absolutely fantastic time, and it's definitely one of the places that I want to go to. But yes, he's having a fantastic time over there. Thanks very much. So Mike's saying that's a good explanation, Darren, but why does it reduce the lot amount without any intervention from me? Don't know the answer to that one, Mike. I presume you're talking about compounding. So I'm not sure why it would reduce. Perhaps you can send me a screenshot privately and I can have a look at that. Okay. So the auto compound seems to be the one. API connection is straightforward. If you're doing all of the things that have been suggested there about clearing your history and your cache, and you're still having issues, then submit a ticket. But really, they can't see, support cannot connect to your SEX or your GDAX account exchanges because they don't have access to it. The instructions are there. The only alternative is perhaps contacting the exchange directly. Okay, right. I've gone way over, so I do apologize. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, hang on. Oh, all right, okay. Right, we've gone way over time. Thank you for bearing with me. Do apologise. Like I say, I know I've got a load of messages that I still need to catch up on from Facebook, Telegram, and email. So big apologies for that. And thank you for bearing with me yesterday. I do apologise about the confusion. It was, like I say, it was very late in the day. I went onto my account, and I know some guys had sent me messages saying that they couldn't leave any comments, and that was symptomatic of the fact that there wasn't any sort of access to the account, and I don't know why. They're still looking into that. The videos are still live and working, so that's not an issue. But for some reason, I just couldn't get access to it. So rather than mess around and wait for a couple of days, I just reset it on another Gmail account. So hopefully we should be fine. Now, we're now on Tuesday. I will plan to do another Hangout on Friday. Jeremy might be with us by then. He may have got to Australia by then, or he may not be. So I'm not making any promises for Jeremy's presence on Friday, but I'll certainly be here on Friday, and we'll do another Hangout. And again, we'll talk about the robot a little bit, but we'll also talk again a little bit, probably more predominantly about the affiliate program, because I know some guys have got some questions. I've seen that some of the messages I've got about accessing the correct route, if you like, to get your affiliates through into onto your account, but also onto Zukul.trade and Zukul.com. So we'll also talk about that as well in a bit more detail. So thank you very much. I'll go through the chat, and if there are any questions on there that I can answer, I will get back to you, like I say, in the chat room. So thank you very much, and I will see you on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.